Friends, today we are going to talk about a person who created history by surviving alone in the middle of the ocean for 438 days. Yes, friends, for more than a year there was only the open sky above and the silent, terrifying ocean all around. No shore, no help, just a broken boat and the shadow of death lurking everywhere. He had gone out for just one day to catch fish, but the ocean held him captive for 438 days. No food, no water, no shelter, and no human being. The hope of survival was zero and the guarantee of death was 100%. There were two people in that boat. Within 4 months, one of them passed away, but the other pushed death aside and returned to the threshold of life. Friends, you will get goosebumps learning how this person managed to stay alive for so many days. But before we start the video, please subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is completely free for you, but it helps us a lot. So, let's start the video. The year was 2012. The date was November 18th. The morning in a small town called Pijiapan, located on the southern coast of Mexico, was calm and normal. The sun was slowly rising above the ocean's surface, and the sea appeared peaceful. Jose Alvarenga, 36 years old, lived in this town with his young daughter. He and his companion, Ezequiel Cordoba, 22 years old, were professional fishermen. Jose had years of experience in fishing, but Ezequiel wasn't as skilled. He had recently joined Jose in this work. Their job was to catch fish and sell them in the market to earn a profit. For the past few days, they had been getting good prices for fish, but weren't able to catch many. So this time, they decided to venture a little deeper into the sea, where larger fish could be found, which could be sold at good prices. Their plan was to go out for just one day. But as Jose prepared for the journey, an experienced fisherman warned him, "Don't go today. The sea doesn't seem right." However, Jose took his advice lightly. "We'll be back in a few hours. We'll catch quickly, sell quickly, and earn quickly." Then Jose and Ezequiel set off in their small 7-meter-long boat, which had a single engine, a small radio, some ice to store fish, and a little food. Their goal was to go about 120 kilometers into the sea. They had no idea that this distance would force them to swing between life and death for 438 days. At first, everything was fine. They were catching fish too. Within a few hours, they had caught quite a few fish. But by the afternoon of the second day, the sea's mood began to change. The sky turned black, the waves grew higher, and the winds became stronger. Then a fierce storm began, a storm that lasted for 2 days and completely changed their fate. The boat started tossing in the waves. The engine stopped, and the radio broke down. Now they had no means of communication, not with the shore nor with any ship. The storm was so dangerous that waves began crashing over their boat. To save their lives, they threw all the fish they had caught back into the sea to lighten the boat and prevent it from sinking. Their plan was to return as soon as the storm stopped. But in front of nature, no matter how clever a human is, they are helpless. In just 2 days, the storm had swept their boat about 400 kilometers away toward the open ocean, where there was nothing but water and no help. After the storm, the sea calmed down. But their real battle had just begun. Their food was gone. Drinking water was also finished, and now they had to collect rainwater to survive, sometimes with their hands, sometimes in a corner of the boat. To satisfy their hunger, they had to catch birds floating in the sea, turtles, and sometimes fish, which they ate raw. Jose had experience, but Ezequiel's body was slowly giving up. He was very young, but wasn't mentally or physically prepared for such a big fight. Still, for 4 months, he struggled alongside Jose every day, hungry, scorched by the sun, battling storms, and surviving on hope. But after the 4th month, his body gave up. He started falling ill repeatedly and slowly stopped speaking. Jose tried everything to keep his companion alive, but there was no doctor in this ocean, no medicine, and no path. Then one day, Ezequiel became silent forever. Jose had to surrender his body to the sea himself. His companion, who had been with him for 4 months, was gone. Now, Jose was completely alone. Jose didn't know that 9 more months lay ahead, where there would be no shore, no path, no voice, just a boat, waves, sun, and his determination to stay alive. Jose was now utterly alone, stuck in a boat that knew neither shore nor direction, surrounded by a silent, deep blue ocean, a hunter watching his every breath. No sound, no human face, no hope, just waves, cold, merciless, and eager to swallow him. Time seemed to have stopped. Every day, every moment reminded Jose that this battle wasn't just about hunger and thirst. It was about the existence of the human within him. The ocean didn't just want his body, it wanted to suck out his soul. Every morning, he woke up thinking it might be his last day. And every night, looking at the sky, he wondered if it was his last night. But when every hope was breaking, one thing kept him alive every day: his daughter's laughter, her eyes, her innocent voice. When his soul began to tire, those memories held him, telling him, "You can't give up. You have to live for me." In the scorching heat of the day, his body burned, and in the bone-chilling winds of the night, his veins began to freeze. There was nothing to eat, only foul-smelling water to drink, and a silence that was maddening. Jose sometimes talked to himself, answering himself because he was forgetting what a real voice sounded like. 6 months had passed, and then one day, in the scorching afternoon sun, when Jose's eyes were burning from the glare, he saw a massive ship on the horizon. His heart started pounding as if life had returned to him. He waved his clothes in the air, shook the boat, screamed, and shouted as if the entire ocean echoed with his voice. But the reality was as cruel as the ocean. The ship didn't even see him. His tiny boat was nothing more than a speck in the vast blue ocean. In a few minutes, the ship disappeared, and with it, Jose's last hope vanished. Jose was now a broken man, a man who asked himself, "Will I ever see anyone again?" He looked at the sky, but there was only silence, just the merciless laughter of the waves and the sobs of a lonely soul. 11 months had passed. His boat was now drifting 8,000 kilometers away in an unknown ocean, a sea unnamed on the world's maps, and Jose's face was no longer recognizable. His eyes had sunk, his cheeks had withered, his lips were cracked, and his skin looked as if it had been forged in fire. But Jose was no longer just a human. He had become a habit of staying alive. Then came the day, January 30th, 2014, when fate didn't open a door but gave a crack, and Jose found life through that crack. Something strange was floating in the water, dry coconuts. And Jose realized in an instant that land was near. In a body where there was no life left, a storm arose. He turned the boat with all his strength and looked ahead. There was an island, a piece of land his eyes had longed to see. In a short time, he reached the Marshall Islands. The boat, which had been a cage of death until yesterday, was now carrying him to the lap of life. Jose looked at the ocean one last time and then threw himself into the water. Cutting through every wave, trembling, breaking, dragging himself, when his feet touched the ground, he fell. Barefoot, with dry eyes, trembling, as if he had become a witness to his own rebirth. Local people rushed to him, their eyes filled with fear and questions. Who is this? Where did he come from? Jose was taken to a hospital. His weight had dropped from 60 kilos to just 38 kilos. His body's muscles had wasted away, leaving only bones beneath his skin. But this wasn't just his treatment. It was a testimony of a man who, for 438 days, swam through the fire and tears of the ocean to prove one thing: when a human resolves to live, even the ocean bows before him. If you were in Jose's place, could you have fought that hell for 438 days? Could you have mustered the courage to return alive? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. When a human chooses not to shatter even after breaking, even death changes its path. Thank you, friends, for watching this video till the end. A heartfelt thanks for that. If this story made you feel something, please share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we'll meet again with another true, thrilling, and soul-stirring story. Until then, goodbye and heartfelt thanks.